That whistleblower who leaked top secret documents about the government surveillance of Americans.
8 years ago, Edward Snowden revealed government secrets. People said,
Snowden's a traitor.
He's a terrible guy who's really set our country back.
But now some say,
you're a hero.
Which is he? Recently we talked about it. Snowden's now in exile in Moscow.
You went to work for the government. You signed agreements saying you wouldn't talk about what you did.
I did sign up to work for the government. I volunteered for the Army. What changed me was a realization that what our government actually does was very different than the public representation of it.
The public was told that the NSA did not spy on Americans.
You're at the NSA and you're dealing with these secrets. What did you think about them then?
We were always looking at what we were doing through a straw. You get a project, you do a project. And I thought this was information about terrorists. I thought this was saving lives. But as I moved from CIA to NSA, my straw that I'm looking through gets wider and wider and wider until I land in this place called the Office of Information Sharing. It turned out I would be much better at this job than anyone expected. And I saw everything. We're capturing everything that your family's doing online, that your friends are doing online.
The NSA's mass surveillance program was meant to find foreign terrorists, but it also spied on Americans.
The public never even knew this stuff existed. It felt to me that we needed to know.
And you talked to your supervisors?
Yeah, I talked to my supervisors. I talked to my colleagues on Constitution Day.
They were all fine with it. This is just what we do. And
all of them actually in private, they go, no, this is crazy. I'm not sure this is legal. But you know what happens to people who talk about this.
But at some point you decided, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut.
This became such a concern to me that I was willing to risk a great deal to tell people about it and see if they agreed or if I was just crazy.
Snowden took documents to journalists, and the world learned the truth about the NSA spying. American officials said Snowden put lives at risk.
He has damaged his country.
Oh, he got people killed. There were agents. None of it came to pass.
U.S. officials also said Snowden could have revealed the government's lawbreaking legally.
There were other avenues available for somebody whose conscience was stirred.
What he said was incorrect. We know this because it had happened before. You had the FBI burst into your house, they take all your computers, they arrest you, they interrogate you, you lose your clearance, you lose your job.
In my case, they came in with guns drawn. I don't know why they did that, but they did.
Why do you think you were charged under the Espionage Act?
To send a chilling message.
Politicians' first priority is to stop you from talking because they want to control the narrative.
There's a reason why these programs are classified.
The president said Congress knew about the spying, but they didn't because NSA officials misled them.
Does the NSA routinely intercept American citizens' emails?
No.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
This, of course, was false. There was a breathtaking sweep of intentional knowing public deception. They constantly tell us, this is for your safety. This is to investigate terrorists, right? Barack Obama's own investigations into this found that it didn't stop a single terrorist attack.
At the time, the NSA claimed mass surveillance did.
Numbers of terrorist attacks that NSA programs contributed to stopping was 54.
That makes me feel safer when I hear that.
We want to believe it's true, but it's not. The government itself no longer makes these claims that it stopped 54 plots, right? They have disowned that.
Now, NSA hearings are not my beat. I confess to Snowden.
I got you confused before researching for this interview with Manning and Julian Assange, Snowden, who did what. But now that I've done the research, I conclude that you really got screwed. And yet you talk about this very dispassionately and thoughtfully. Aren't you pissed off? I mean, James Clapper lied to Congress, and He wasn't fired, and now he works for CNN. Keith Alexander now is on Amazon's board. They made out you're in exile.
But if you're one of these made men, working on a high level, you will face a very different flavor of justice, shall we say.
None in the case of these two guys.
Precisely, or no justice at all.
If Snowden returns to America, he faces a long jail sentence.
I can be very much at peace with the choices that I've made, and unfortunately, the price that I've paid as a result of that, because it was the right thing to do. And it has made things better. Some of these programs have been halted.
When Snowden talked to reporters, he knew his government would come after him.
You asked 27 countries for asylum?
And every time one of these countries would appear to be leaning towards granting asylum, they would get a phone call from then Secretary of State John Kerry or then Vice President Joe Biden. They canceled my passport, which meant I couldn't leave Russia.
He's been trapped in Russia for 7 years now. His American girlfriend came to Moscow to see him, and they got married.
What's your life in exile like?
We are expecting our first child, and this is really all-consuming for us right now. Exile as a political weapon is beginning to fail. These conversations, what's happening between you and I today, that governments used to be able to go, fine, we're just going to divorce you from the public conversation. We're going to silence you through distance. It doesn't work anymore, because even though I put my head down on the pillow far away, I still very much live in the United States.
We'll post my full, almost 2-hour interview with Snowden Monday.